This is Flatford in the heart of Constable Country, and I'm off to Willie Lott's cottage to try and sketch it. Set within an area of outstanding natural beauty in Suffolk is the rural landscape known as Constable Country. So called because it was where the painter John Constable was born and painted his most celebrated works. I just got really self-conscious about talking into my camera with someone standing there, and then I thought, he's been standing there a long time, and I've just realised it's a scarecrow in a high-vis top. Willie Lott's house is an iconic cottage, best known as the backdrop to Constable's famous painting, the Hay Wain, painted in 1821. It was named after Willy Lott, a tenant farmer who reportedly lived there for over 80 years. Just a short stroll away is Flatford Mill, a historic watermill once owned by Constable's family. In front of the mill, there were a couple of benches strategically placed with the perfect view to sit and sketch Willie Lott's house. For this outing, I used a Sea White of Brighton A4 plein air sketchbook, a watercolor pencil, a Jinhao fountain pen with platinum carbon ink, and a set of Famui travel brushes with screw-in lids. For a change, today I decided to use my Schminker travel set. I do love the paints in this set, and I really like the whiskey flask design of the tin with its integral water container. However, I find that the well won't stay put on the end of the tin, which is quite annoying, and it falls off into my bag all the time, which puts me off using it. Meanwhile, back in Flatford, I started sketching out the big shapes of the house using watercolour pencil. Once the big shapes were roughly blocked in with pencil, I inked in the line work with the Jinhao fountain pen. I certainly don't need a ruler to draw that roof. I'm just hinting at the brickwork in random spots. And here I'm just hinting at the roof tiles. I never draw them all in. Some people go down to that level of detail and it looks great, but I like things to be a little bit looser in my sketches, so I just hint at them. But it's all down to personal preference, really. And that's the line work complete. It's a bit bigger than I intended. I didn't plan to fill the whole page, and if I come back and sketch here again, I'll make sure to start off a bit smaller. But overall, I'm fairly pleased with how it's turned out. I've actually had to stick the water pot to the tin pallet with gaffer tape to avoid it falling off and getting lost in the depths of my rucksack, which kind of defeats the object really. But once I have unstuck it, I can clip it onto the edge and begin painting. As you can see, I'm wearing a sports wristband to wipe my brushes on. And just lately I've had lots of people ask me if I'm dabbing my brushes on my sleeve. Well, the answer's not yet, although I wouldn't be surprised if I do accidentally do it one day when I've forgotten to wear the band. It's a bit like when you absent-mindedly dip your brush in your coffee instead of the water pot. Most of the buildings are sort of yellowy colour, so I'm starting with a fairly watered down yellow ochre, painting very loosely. I'm actually trying to avoid a tiny little spider who's decided to join me. Luckily he's escaped up the chimney. I'm just adding a touch of brown to the yellow ochre as the base colour for the roofs. It's a lovely bright spring day, so I'm mixing a little blue to add some shadows and darken the sides of the building that are shaded. This was the perfect afternoon spent urban sketching. A beautiful day and a beautiful location. I hope you've enjoyed a little trip to Willie Lott's house in Flatford. Thanks for watching and happy sketching.